my motto for investing in property or buying any property is I need to be able to add value to it.
You're listening to the She Renovates podcast. You're listening to She Renovates, the podcast for women who want to renovate to create an income and a life they love.
Well, hello renovators, it's Bernadette, and today I'm talking with one of our students, Jay Harris. Jay and his wife Katherine came into our boot camp a couple of years ago now. Jay is what you would call a serial entrepreneur. He has a business mind and he applies it to many areas of his life. And I think that it's interesting to see that renovating is really just another business. And even though, in this episode, we're talking about renovating his family home, that's part of the process because it gives the leverage to be able to go and do other projects. It gives you access to equity in the form of cash to be able to go and do other projects. So I think that's one of the things that comes out of this episode. The other one is the fact that he is already a very accomplished carpenter, shop fitter, and yet he saw the value in coming and doing some training on renovating for profit. So I have shared a few times around how often people who work in the industry, builders, trades, and so on, think that they know it all. However, renovating for profit, there is a different mindset and there are things that you need to understand. And unfortunately, that's often not apparent in their field of vision. And it takes someone quite intuitive and I guess humble to realise that there's more to learn in order to move forward powerfully. I think also the third thing that you will take away from this is the value of renovating as a couple. Now, Jay and his wife, Katherine, are very avid renovators. It's something that brings richness to their life. So if you are lucky to have a partner that is as interested in it as you are, that is an incredible gift that if you're not taking advantage of, you would do well to be able to capitalise on that. So, of course, I don't miss an opportunity to get on my little soapbox about the whole thing about your family home not being an asset. And there is loads more in this episode. Now, before we get into the episode, I would like to remind you that we have only got 3.5 weeks till our one-day conference, She Renovates Live. So if you are able to attend, please jump into our website and grab yourself a ticket. It is going to be a really lovely day in the beautiful grounds of Alexandria with a lot of really amazing speakers. What I'm going to be speaking on, I've actually invited a representative from the property circles to come in because what I'm going to be talking about is how we're going to be progressing with joint ventures in the future. Well, that's one of the things I'll be talking about because our collaboration with property circles has been, I guess, life-changing in terms of joint ventures, and I'm really excited about what we have got to offer. So, and remember that joint ventures aren't just for people who don't have a lot of money. It could be someone that wants to really diversify their portfolio, really down to a really granular level, or you might be just wanting to have a group of really savvy women to share the experience with. We would love to see you, so grab your ticket and we'll see you there on the 1st of November. So welcome, Jay.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. The reason that Jay has come on to the podcast, there's a couple of reasons, but the first one is that now we all know, I think it was Robert Kiyosaki who said that your family home is not an asset. It is a liability because it doesn't put money in your pocket. And this is
I
in
love that.
the US where they get is their interest tax deductible on their family
think
home?
it is.
So where here it's investment properties. I'm pretty sure there your interest is tax deductible. But anyhow, by the by, and I always jump on an opportunity to prove him wrong.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I really don't agree with that, and I'm pretty sure you and I are on the same wavelength. We had that
We sure are.
not so
We're on
long
the same
ago.
page. We're not on the Robert Kiyosaki page for this particular red hot tip.
Exactly. And the other reason Jay is here is because Jay is very established in the building industry. He has a business that does shop fitting.
Yeah, we do. We used to do shop fitting, retail shops and restaurants and office fit out. We have pretty much changed our target market. We just do office fit outs and renovations now. That's our target market. So I just love creating cool workspaces for people, because, you know, up until COVID, people had to go to work 40 hours, 50 hours a week. So creating a cool space to go to work for clients was something that resonated with me. We just do office fit outs at the Space Invaders fit out company.
Beautiful. And you're also the king of cool business names, I just have to say. Because you also had a maintenance company called the Maintenance Boys, which I thought was really good. And now you've got Space Invaders. Any others that I should know about?
I had a really good business lesson a few years ago. I bought a cleaning business. I called it Your Cleaning Crew. I didn't realize how much administration and time and how taxing that business would be with such low profit. So that was a business lesson that I got out of pretty quickly after I got into it. So yeah, I've had the Maintenance Boys, Your Cleaning Crew, and the Space Invaders.
Beautiful. And
yeah.
So the second point that I think is worth talking about is the fact that while you do you have a trade?
Carpentry license, yeah. Yeah.
So while you have a trade,
I've done certificate 4. I've done certificate 4, which is the building construction certificate. Spent 2 years at TAFE doing that as well. Probably about 3/4 into doing that, I kind of realized I didn't necessarily want to be a residential builder and work for clients. I just wanted to do my own renovations and do my own stuff. Business-wise, I was working for a fit-out company at the time while I was studying, and I really liked the hours and I liked the flexibility. And, you know, I'd drive up and all around New South Wales in my ute with my surfboard in the back of the car and kind of make my own times and days when, and making sure I fit it in with the client's needs. But I thought, hang on a sec, I think I'm onto something here. This is a really good lifestyle business that fits in with my surfing and actually making some money and doing something that I love.
There's one rule about this podcast. You're not allowed to talk about surfing.
Okay, no worries.
It makes me breathe over. One of my mentors, do you know James Schramko?
Yeah.
He talks, and I keep saying, sorry, you're going to put me to sleep if you keep that up.
Yeah. You're just attracting so many men that are entrepreneurs that love surfing into your life.
My husband's a surfer from way back.
Oh,
although he had to give up when he broke a rib about a decade ago. So, yeah. But anyhow, yes, I understand the culture, but that's where it's at.
It's a bit of an addiction.
Apparently.
There you go. Got some surfing pictures behind me, actually. We won't talk about that.
No.
Don't style your house with surfing pictures.
We've got, actually, shame I can't show you, we've actually got surfboards on the wall. So we've gone the extra mile there.
Love it. I've got a surfboard on my wall as well.
I put them somewhere where I wouldn't have to look at them. So
okay, cool.
all's well. Anyhow, get back to the point. Even though that you have a lot of expertise, you still saw the value in training to be a renovator for profit. And you use that in a renovation on your own home. And that's what I want to go into today, because I think a lot of people underestimate the value of a renovation on your own home, because certainly for me, and I think for you too, we've used that equity that we've created to fund our entrepreneurial journey, our investing and projects moving forward. Fund everything in life, really.
honestly, like it's not just our entrepreneurial journey and our business that it's helping our life, our families, helping us become, financially, not necessarily financially independent, but financially, wealthy, and a lot wealthier than, I'm definitely a lot wealthier than I was before I bought a property and started renovating. Yeah, definitely.
And you don't necessarily have to sell that home to actually realise that wealth either. You can piggyback and build a portfolio on the back of it, on the equity that you create.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. My motto for investing in property or buying any property is I need to be able to add value to it, 100%. So you'll never see me buy a completely renovated house unless I know I'm getting an absolute bargain. Unless I know it's undervalued for whatever reason, it's a mortgagee in possession or someone's desperate to sell it and I just happen to be in the right place at the right time. Otherwise, I'm looking for the worst house in the best street.
Absolutely.
looking for the dump that the hoarder lives in.
I know. Sometimes I think it's guilty because when we sell our properties, we always get top dollar for them. We always get the best price there is to get. And like usually if we do a reno in a building, that just moves the price of all the properties in the building up a level. And I always feel a bit sad for the person that buys it. I think, oh God, I would love to tell you that you are absolutely doing the wrong thing.
Well, it's not necessarily that they're doing the wrong thing. It's just, it's a lot of effort. It's a lot of knowledge and experience that they need to even just go through the process. And it's hard work and it's stressful.
Yeah, you're right.
For you and I, we know how to do it. We've done it. We've had some hard times. We've had some really hard times getting our renovations done and dealing with approvals and council and tradies. But, there's a bigger picture to all of it. So it's worth the hard work,
Absolutely. And I think that's it. It's like I look at some things, like I would look at a school teacher and think, I don't know how you do that. No amount of money would pay me to homeschool my children because it's just not my thing. So I guess it's the same thing. You're right. So, okay, I can allay my conscience because one of the last projects we sold was David's apartment in Bondi, and so a really lovely lady in her 70s had sold the family home and bought that for herself, and then she was going to buy another property elsewhere as an investment. And the agent told me the other day she had come to him and said she really loves it, but she's thinking she might sell it because she just doesn't spend enough time there.
Right.
And I thought my heart was in my mouth because I thought, one, you have paid a premium because it was brand new. And two, the market has changed since then. So tell me about your property.
More of a long-term thing with Bondi. Bondi is always going to go up, right? It's just, you've got to hang in there. You've got to stay in there for more than 6 months or more than 12 months. Where do you want me to start from?
Well, do you want to tell us about the property, where it is, what it is, and then about the plan? What was your plan to add value?
For renovations in total for ourselves with my wife, Katherine. One of the reasons why Katherine and I connected with you was because we saw so much potential in renovating houses and adding value to houses. And so it's just something that we can't stop thinking about. It's like we're always walking down the road and going to a restaurant down the local shops and there's a real estate agent. We've got to stop outside the front of the real estate agent and see what the property market's doing and see if there's any deals. So that's just something that Katherine and I love and are inspired by, and love renovating and, creating and transforming, old crappy houses and making them beautiful homes. I think when we came and did the School of Renovating, I think we were just in between a 3-bedroom semi and a 4-bedroom semi in Bondi. The 3-bedroom semi that we did it was pretty much just a makeover. So we bought it at auction, really undervalued. We knew it was undervalued because the bank valued it more than what we paid for it at auction. Love that.
They don't very often do that. Often they just take the auction result. Or did they do the valuation before you bought it?
They did the valuation before we bought it, yeah. So we knew how much we could borrow and we knew what it was worth. And I spoke to 5 or 6 agents as well, different agents in the area, and they all gave us what they thought it was worth. And so we bought it well under that, which was great. So we basically did a really cute little picket fence at the front, painted that, cost us about, I don't know, $1,500. We put a little garden and some grass out the front. We pulled up some pavers in the backyard and grassed that, put some turf down. We painted the whole house, or the whole semi, or the half of a house. It's kind of, you know, a semi's a half a house. We fixed up all the skirtings and the cornices internally. We repainted everything. We put some new lighting in with dimmers for mood lighting. Love that. There wasn't a huge amount more than we did apart from that for that particular house, which was good. And we were only there for 2 years. So we were fortunate because that was in Bondi as well. And that jumped up in price after we added some value to it. So we were then able to sort of bunny hop into the next place around the corner, which was a 4-bedroom, 2-story semi. That was a much bigger renovation because it was literally a poor old man had lived there and he'd passed away. So we bought that at auction as well. Same thing, really undervalued because it was broken window, broken glass out the back, and there was water leaks in the ceiling and all kinds of stuff. So we went to council and got a DA to put a driveway in the front.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was hell. That's just part of renovating, right? Sometimes you've got to go through a bit of some challenges to get the outcome you want and to add that value, because a car parking space for someone to park their Range Rover in Bondi is probably worth quite a fair bit of money. So
exactly. Yeah.
that was worthwhile. But so we did driveway, garden out the front. We had to repoint all the mortar in between the bricks because it was so old. It was like an old bungalow style semi, and so we repointed everything, and then we painted everything. Painted inside, outside. We redid a lot of the ceilings. That was the old horsehair. Had to pull all the ceilings out. We actually found in a few of the rooms we got another foot or so in ceiling height because they'd come in at some stage and built another ceiling underneath the existing ceiling. So it was actually pulling out 2 ceilings. Oh, it was a messy job, that one. I've got some photos. The guys that helped me with that just looked like they were going through a war zone of dirt and dust. It was gross. But yeah, everything. We resanded the floors. Yeah, skirtings, cornices, a few new doors. Redid the bathroom. Redid the kitchen. We fixed the deck out the back. We put like clear polycarbonate over the back deck to get some light through. Katherine did an amazing job with the garden and returfing everything. Yeah, so it was like we basically touched every centimetre of the property.
No structural changes?
No.
Right.
No. So it was good in the sense that it was kind of a makeover. It wasn't a real structure. It already had the 2 levels, so that was very fortunate. It had enough space that in terms of having 4 bedrooms. And then adding the car space and having a backyard, and we put a cute little fence, down the side of the house, and put an outdoor shower and a few little things like that to give it that nice beach vibe.
Beach thing,
yeah.
Yeah. And have you had it revalued since you did it?
Yeah, we got the bank to revalue it. It went up. We bought it for 1.75. We probably spent about 300 on it, and the bank revalued it at 2.8.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it might have gone down since COVID, but
even so, how far can it go? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So it's unreal. We're stoked. So loving it. Yeah.
So if someone was like, if you did that on a project, you would think you were seriously struck gold. But like what I noticed is, like, I talk to people every day in our community that add enormous amounts onto their family home. It runs under the mat. Nobody ever, I think that's amazing. And the great thing about it is not that you've done it to sell it, but if you ever did need to, then you're going to pay tax on that increased equity.
Yeah, exactly. And look, we are seasoned sort of renovators, and it's our fourth project that we've done. But, you just got to start, you just got to get started. And your first one, you might make 50 grand or 100 grand. The second one, you might make 150, 200 grand. The third one, you might make 300 or 400 grand, and so on and so forth. It's one of those things with Australian property. You've got to be in it to win it.
And you've got to find good areas. That's the other thing. 100%.
And use the knowledge, and reach out to people like us, you and I, who have been there and done it.
Yeah.
You can help people, because there's nothing that I'm sure I think nothing I hate more than hearing about, disaster stories where some people have gone and bought property too high, or, there's no way for them to add value to it, because they've literally bought at the peak of the market, and they've bought something that's completely renovated, and there's nothing to renovate, nothing to add value to.
No. But it's funny, like I'm saying about good areas, we have a student who just did a project in Shortland in Newcastle, and so bought for 285, so did a quick and dirty makeover and sold it for 430. So she cleared 60,000, like in a couple of months.
Amazing. Unreal.
I know.
Love it.
Such a great skill to have.
It sure is. It sure is. And look, and then look at the opportunities you get from that. So within a 12-month period, she makes 60 grand, and she's got some more equity to go and step up to the next one.
Well, in actual fact, she doesn't have a job anymore, and so that's more than she was being paid when she did have a job. So it's cool. Yeah. So it really surprises me. Some of the most unlikely people are really good at this. So to look at her, you would think, nah. But little pocket rocket, which is
that's so cool.
Yeah.
But isn't it amazing how many of how property and renovating properties can help in so many different areas of your life? You lose your job, thank God I did the renovation.
Yeah.
So I can live,
Exactly.
On the goal.
Yeah.
Or job seeker. Don't have to go for job seeker or whatnot. Or, you can probably go for both.
Probably.
Having that backup, having that nest egg, having that confidence that you've got the money behind you, helps you sleep at night. Amazing.
Yeah. And so what's next for you? So you've moved to the Central Coast.
Yeah, so we're living up in Avoca on the Central Coast now. The beautiful little coastal town that I've been coming to for holidays for the last 30 years, and we just bit the bullet, so let's move up. Moved up here just before COVID, so that was kind of perfect timing. Thank you, universe, looking after us. So yeah, we've just got our eye out for possibly doing something up here. We've kind of got our eye on a particular area of the Central Coast that we like, a couple of areas that we like on the Central Coast, and so we're just going to play the waiting game at the moment, and just wait for the right time, and take a good opportunity when it arises. Yeah, you do have to be patient in this game as well.
You really do. Yeah.
You got to learn patience. That's a hard one for me. I like to get stuff done now. I want to do it now.
Absolutely. And tell me, when you're doing your projects, do you do the carpentry elements yourself?
I'll do a little bit of it, but not much. Only because I've seen for me to come out of my business and jump on jump on renovating my own thing for 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 3 months. Yeah, I just don't see the value in that, and kind of not supporting clients and serving clients. Now that I've got the office renovation business, as well as a coaching and mentoring business that I've got going as well, so that keeps me really busy. But I obviously project manage it all, and Katherine looks after my wife looks after all the design and all those kind of elements. But I've got a good group of tradies that I've been using for the business that have also helped me renovate the house as well. So I've got a good network.
And it's really interesting that you don't have to have a builder's license to do commercial work, but you do need it for residential.
Yeah, not yet. You probably will. We probably will have to get a license in the next year or two, but up until now, it hasn't been required. So it's been, I'm grateful for that.
Like, I'm glad that you've taken that approach, because so many people, particularly trades, cannot see the wood for the trees, and they get stuck in doing the reno and neglect their business, just never turns out well. You've got to have that income going on the side so you keep up your serviceability. Yeah.
Totally. The business pays the mortgage. And that gives us the opportunities to do the renovations. Yeah, exactly. So you've got to keep the bank happy, keep them paid each month. Even if you just want interest only, just make sure you keep paying.
Exactly. Yeah. So, So
Totally.
what would your tips be to someone considering doing a renovation on their own home? What would be the 3 biggest things you would say to them?
No, you got to really research and know the market. Know what properties are worth. Know what a 3-bedroom house is worth or a 3-bedroom farm. Know what a 4-bedroom house with a car space is worth. Know what a 5-bedroom house with a pool and a garage is. Just do your research. Make sure you know the value of all the properties. Spend as long as you need to on domain and realestate.com.au. Talk to a few agents in the area of the place that you want to buy. Talk to 3 or 4 agents. And do that research. You might be able to get onto one of the real estate agents' lists and buy a property off market. You never know. So they might find someone that's desperate, and if you know the market and you're ready to go and you got your loan pre-approved. Obviously, I used to be a mortgage broker in a previous lifetime, so I knew how to get mortgages and money. That's before I got into carpentry and building. So I did that in the 2000s, and I actually going through the global financial crisis was when I thought, pain in the ass getting mortgages for people at the moment. It's really hard work and it's not aligned, with my values and what I want to do. And I wanted to get out there and get on the tools and get my hands dirty. So yeah, that was, I guess, the last crisis we had in the world maybe. And just research, go and jump onto the She Renovates podcast and listen and get some free information, and go to the School of Renovating, connect with Bernadette, connect with me if you want, happy to have a chat to you. It's something I love talking about, and just do as much research about the area you want to buy and just make sure you're buying something that's undervalued and something that you can add value to.
Absolutely. And it's interesting, like I have a lot of people say to me sometimes there's no such thing as an off-market deal. Just the other day, I was talking to a student in Melbourne and she and her daughter they've been on the podcast. They're a really good team. And they were her daughter and her partner were looking for a property in Woodend, which is a really nice suburb just outside of Melbourne, and couldn't really find anything that, everything was in the 800s, the renovators, and they weren't wanting to spend quite that much.
Right.
But they developed relationships with the local agents, and one of them, called them out on a couple of properties, but they weren't really right. And then the other day they picked up an absolute beauty, one that looks like it's straight out of a storybook, a really gorgeous house, but overgrown and undervalued as a result of that, and they got that for just over 600,000.
Unreal.
And that's the off market. So
perfect.
I absolutely think that those relationships with your agents are what will hold you in good stead.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And it also helps if one of your property strategies is to flip your house, having that relationship with an agent that is going to look after you and is going to go to work and really work their database to help you sell your property after you've done your renovation as well.
Yeah,
I know a couple of our properties that when we've gone to sell, we did put it on the market to go to auction, but we had a price in mind that we wanted, and we actually ended up using the agents that managed to get us the offer that we wanted before it went to auction. So we sold it before auction. So having that relationship with an agent who is going to go into bat for you and help you try and buy a place before auction so it doesn't go out to the 20, 30, 40 people.
I also think the other thing with the agents that you work with, that you have to trust one another. You've got to get someone that you can trust, that, because otherwise you're often second guessing. And like, I know that if I say to my agent, is this the best price you think I can get? That if he says yes, then it's the truth. Like, he's not going to, he takes his responsibility to his vendor very seriously. I also know not to expect to be able to, get away with insider information when he's a selling agent, because he's got a responsibility to the vendor, and that's really who you want to work with, someone that's you can trust and has integrity. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay, so until you get another project, it's all about shop fitting.
It is, yeah. Office renovations and coaching and mentoring.
Awesome. Well, that's excellent. We will include your details in the show notes. So if anyone wants
please.
And can I suggest you give us some before and afters so we can share your expertise with the
sure.
with the listeners? Thanks for coming on, helping me bring the message home that your family home is an asset. And
pleasure. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
No worries. Take care.
Cool. Thanks, Bernadette. This
is the She Renovates podcast. To discover how to harness the power of renovating, check out theschoolofrenovating.com.